You're tuned into the It's Real podcast with your hosts, Kayla Calendar and Andrew Yagi. Each week, we'll talk about what happens behind the scenes working full-time in real estate and share with you real-life stories, our successes and failures as we work to help consumers and industry professionals reach their real estate and real-life goals. Here we go.
The episodes keep climbing. We're at 103, Andy. We did it.
103. Yeah.
Love it.
What's real with you today, Kayla?
What's real? I'm preparing for this winter storm. I love me a good storm, whether it's thunder and lightning or, tornadoes. I probably shouldn't like those, but yeah, bring on the storm. I love it. So, although kind of not timely for Easter, but.
So it's like Garth Brooks' Thunder Rolls. Is that one of your theme songs?
Lightning strikes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I got one of the Garth Brooks CDs like when I was in kindergarten, I think, and it had that song on it. I got a CD player for Christmas with Garth Brooks. There was a Disney CD and then TLC, Crazy, Sexy, Cool, which, Waterfalls was good. But, some of the other songs maybe at that age weren't good to be listening
to. You look back and you listen to them and you're like, oh my gosh, why my parents did not catch this. But oh gosh, I love it. We've got a holiday coming up. I haven't talked to you, but what are you guys doing for Easter?
We are going to go, we kind of try to rotate every year. So I'm going to go see my wife's family this year. So we're going to be traveling out of town. How about you?
We're hosting. So dogs have, just hosting a few family friends, and the dogs have their bunnies that we got. We're going to get some stuff from Prairie Pup. They got new bandanas, and we're just going to have like an Easter brunch. So it'll be pretty low key, but it'll be nice.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. We were debating staying home, and I just kind of said, I feel like we've had a fair amount of travels and just life's been busy. It'd be nice to stay home, but people have to look at, and very well from your life experience. It's like, hey, parents aren't around forever. And so it's really good to go and spend time with family. And, even though the travel sometimes is inconvenient.
It's hard. But you just never know how many holidays you have left. And time flies. I still can't believe, like, when we look back, it's like we graduated over, 20 years ago from high school. And we look back in college was 15 years ago, give or take. I mean, my goodness, like, time flies. So good for you guys.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. Well, Kayla, what's going on in real estate, in mortgage? I mean, rates obviously ticked up quite a bit, but now they're kind of inching back down.
Yeah, they're softening a bit. Yeah. It's so funny to me. I'm getting clients. I had a client today say, hey, I heard rates are down. We should refinance, right? And it's so surprising to me how people still, and not to know, disregard to them. It's just people see headlines, but then they don't keep up with the headlines. So I've had a few people lately say, we should refinance now after rates have gone up, and I have to educate and say, hey, rates change daily. And since we last spoken, rates are up, but they have softened a little bit, which is helpful because, man, Andy, they were ticking up quite a bit. I mean, when we look at the data, we were looking at rates comparable to, where we were, over a year ago. Basically like July 2025. And so, a lot of people, again, can't time the market. If you can get into, a great program, a great rate, awesome. But it's no longer money that's really impacting clients. I've noticed it's, it is to an extent, but it's more so we need to move. We have to move. We're running out of space. So we're still seeing applications come in. Saw a little decline in the last week, but that can switch in a day.
Yep. We've been all of a sudden, like, it's been bananas in our office, mostly with people wanting to list, and, and some were heavier on the listing side, helping people market and sell their properties. But even, some very motivated buyers, some coming from out of state. Hey, we've got our house under contract. We need to have a place to go. Yeah. Even I look at some of the rental properties I've had. For one, Kayla, I had 50 people reach out interested in it. Granted, it was at a more attractive price point, a smaller unit. So the affordability piece is really huge. And, even working in real estate every day, sometimes it's easy to forget about how big of a deal, housing is and how much of a shortage there is. And, just talking to some people and their stories, and there are some, tough situations out there, but I
Mhm.
guess such is life.
Yeah, and it's again, we talk about it a lot, but it's emotional and it's a lot from your financing to, especially if you're selling a home too, it's bittersweet. You're saying goodbye to memories, you're trying to orchestrate that sale and the buy. It's a lot. And I had a call with a client today and she said, "Well, I'm not a first-time home buyer, but it's my first time selling and buying." And I told her, I said, "Sometimes that's more stressful." And I said, "You should have the same care and education and empowerment selling and buying as you would buying or buying your 10th home." And I think some professionals might look at it as, "Oh, you've done this before, you're fine." But I really take this approach, and I'm sure your team does too, Andy. It's like, hey, this is your first time selling a home. There's some multiple moving parts here that we need to
Mhm,
take care of, and it can be more stressful than buying your first home. So,
mhm. Right. Yeah, most definitely. And, people need guidance. We're really, I chat with my team and, it's been really fun as we've grown a team, as I know you have too. And, there are 6 of us in the office that are licensed now. And just, kind of as some of my duties have shifted, I mean, I'm still very much an active part of the
mhm,
business and, working with people to help reach their goals, list their properties, but also kind of working, to coach my agents and educate them and set them up for success. And,
mhm.
just really, staying on top of the market and seeing what's going on out there. And the thing that really
Yeah,
strikes me today, Kayla, is we talk about it often. It matters who you work with,
it does.
both in terms of lender and agent, but I've really seen a lot of agents sliding and honestly getting lazy. Like we've had
Mhm.
agents that, hey, it's a distance for me to come show your property. Will you just show my client your property? Or,
Oh
hey,
man.
I can't make it up for, the home inspection. Is it okay? The buyer's going to do their own inspection. Can they just do it? I
Oh
think we
wow.
talked about that a little bit. And, even agent not going and getting signatures, the lender trying to put it on us or the title company to get the buyer's signatures when we're working with
Mhm.
the seller. And so,
Mm,
I think so many things are changing in the world. And the sad thing is, there just doesn't seem to be a lot of motivation.
mm. And to like you see when you see the good, realtor that's like not pushing at a client this weekend, and the realtor's like, "Hey, I don't think you should offer on this home until you see some other homes because I think you're overpaying." It struck me, Andy. I was like, "Wow, great job!" Like, I understand, realtors like 100% commission. You don't know where your next deal is coming from, but clients and lenders and insurance and title, we can all feel if there's that urgency, that rush, that push, and or lack of care. And that's, I mean, again, we go back and talk about this is emotional. It's a big time in people's lives. We have to take it seriously, and you have to work with the people that matter. But on that note, I still get calls. What's your rate? Like, do you want to know about me? Do you want to know about how I work? Do you want to know anything about like my reputation? So we still get those too.
Yeah. And that's really where we've tightened our process up. So individuals that call us, just come look at my house. I'm thinking of selling. Oh, great. Here's an opportunity. Well,
Mhm,
chances are it isn't. And most people don't ever intend to work with you. And it's the same for you in lending. And so we have gotten things down to a science, Kayla, where, hey, you're coming into our office to meet with us. You're going to make sure that we're a good fit, that you want to work with us, at which point we're going to put a contract in place. We're not, if we're selling a house, we're not going to settle on a price until we've looked at it, but that's part of our process when we
mhm,
come out to photograph and everything. And I mean, that weeds people out pretty quick as far as the ones that, hey, they're just trying to use you for free consulting or really don't have any intent of ever using you.
mhm.
Um, yeah, and it's been kind of transformative for us. And ultimately, I know, and we're going to get to the bottom of you a little bit today here
Oh,
too, and kind
good.
of find out what makes Kayla tick, and maybe ask you some hard questions. But
Mhm.
it's really interesting, when you really put your emphasis on those that value you and value your time.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's important. And you have to, otherwise you'll fall apart.
Okay, well, no more talking about this. So a couple of episodes ago, it was kind of the all about me
It was.
episode where you kind of grilled me,
I
and
did kind of grill you, didn't I?
you did kind of grill me.
No,
You
wasn't it good grilling? Like it was like, like questions that really make you think.
they were very thoughtful questions, and I think it's your turn today.
I'm a little nervous.
Well, we're gonna flip the script, and
Okay.
so it's all about you today, Kayla. So I'm gonna
Goody.
ask some questions. So okay, first question:
Hmm.
And I'm going to make it a little bit of a tougher question right
I
off
knew
the
you
bat. We're
were.
not even gonna. Well, I think we've had 10 minutes to kind of warm up here, and whatever you're kind of in the zone. So,
Yeah.
first question.
Okay.
So, for people who think they know you, Kayla, who are you really?
People that think they know me, who am I
Mhm.
really? Great question, because I actually was talking to somebody about this earlier in the week. I think like Sunday I was. So I think that there's two things that people might think. And I was talking to another loan officer about this. I think people are so fast to judge. I think always they see blonde and they see woman and they see my post because I post all the time. I think they think, does she really know what she's talking about? I think people are like, does she? Or is she just, here to just be on social or what have you? And I think that once people get to know me, they see two things. They see that I'm a shark for my clients. I will fight for my clients. I do not issue, I do not issue pre-approval letters unless I am very confident. I get that that other lender down the street might issue you one overnight, but I've seen what happens and I don't want to put my name on something so important like we talked about. So I will fight for my clients. And there's a reason that I have this, and it's an award. You can't really read it, but it says, for the employee who always leaves a chair at the table for the customer. I will always fight. And I know files inside and out. I'm very good at my job. So I have to kind of prove that. And then the other thing is I'm really actually kind of goofy. Like I kind of joke around. I'm lighthearted. So it's kind of like there's two sides of me and I can be both, but I don't think people expect that I am as intelligent and sharp and sharky as I am, and that I'm also super goofy. I've had people say to me, I thought you were going to be a word I can't say on here. And I'm like, what? You thought that? And they're like, well, I'm like, we just can't judge a book by its cover, but it's natural. It's just common. So
Mhm.
I would say Sharky and Goofy.
I like that. That's really thoughtful and good job.
Oh, thanks. I don't know if those are accurate, like accurately like professional terms, but Sharky and Goofy will go with.
Okay, I've got another question, Kayla. If someone had to pick you as their lender in 10 seconds,
Oh,
why you?
why not me? I think that there's three words that I use constantly, and Andy, you've heard it more than anybody. It's education, empowerment, and empathy. We've got clients that don't know anything and they feel silly asking questions. We have to have empathy for those people. Um, Serious empathy, because this is their first time, or maybe Andy, it's their 10th time buying a home, but no one's ever explained it to them. So having empathy for the client that they don't know what we know, empowering clients to make decisions on their own, empowering them to know the opportunities in front of them that, I'm like, do you know that owning this house will create you X amount? Really breaking down and letting people know that you can do this, empowering them. And then education, time and time and time again, clients are just rushing the process, or they think a pre-approval is just a letter, and it's so much more than that. So I know that's longer than 10 seconds, but I would just say those three words are what I would say. Because I think a lot of people just don't expect a lender to sit down with them, and all they think is a rate. So education, empowerment, and empathy. And that's my 70
Right.
second speech.
Very nice. I like that. Okay, we're gonna go down, we're pretending like we're doing a little fat burn, segment on the treadmill. We're gonna go down
Oh,
to kind of
oh, good.
a little lower platform here. We'll make it easy because, hey, I feel like the first question was really tough right out of the gate. If
What?
you weren't working as a lender, what would you be doing?
Gosh, great question. I've struggled with that. I think hmm, I don't know. I think that I love animals so much that it's easy for me to say, oh, I'd work for a shelter or a vet clinic. But I also am very emotional when it comes to animals. Like, I don't know if that I could handle what like the girls and the staff at Homeward Animal Shelter deal with. I think that you have to be strong and have some thick skin with that stuff. So I don't know if I would succeed with that, but I think it's just in my head. Um, I I think that as I've grown over the years in this industry, I've created a lot of relationships and met a lot of people. So I also think that if there was a world of like partnering with, a company or being, I don't want to say an influencer, but I love sales and I love education. So whether it's, being a face for a company that I've worked with, or being a face for like I go and get my hair done and I know everything about it, or like I go to the wellness district, like I would love to be like in, women's health or something of those sorts, or like women's health isn't like sales and like hair salons, but I just love that. I love that when you go into some of those businesses, like those people are there to make you feel beautiful and great. And I just love that. So I don't know that not a strong answer, but something with animals or something with just like being a face for something that I really believe in. I just don't know what that would be.
Sure. So maybe that question, even though it was intended to be easier, was harder.
It was, yeah, that's harder because I've had people say that and I'm like, honestly, I think the answer is a stay-at-home dog mom, to be very honest, but I mean, what do you do?
Well, along the lines of the dogs, tell us, how did you get, I mean, you have 4 pit bulls, mix.
Yes, I do.
Yes. And so how did you get into dogs, and why pit bulls?
I think it was a year after Taryn and I were married, and he's like, "You want to get a dog?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, where's a dog gonna sleep? Because like we don't live on a farm." And I was 26, 27. And he's like, "No, Kayla, the dog would be inside. I was used to having farm dogs." So Taryn and I just found Colby on Facebook on a rescue site, and we just adopted, right? We rescued. I really didn't think there was anything other than that. We just followed these sites. And that was like my gateway puppy was, oh my gosh, my heart is bursting. And Taryn said getting a second dog would be a really great thing for our first. And I was like, no. We don't need 2 dogs. Like that's a lot. I was very hesitant. And then I saw what happened when we got them together, and it eased our first dog's anxiety. It was awesome. And then it just spiraled after that, right? We're like, let's get another. It's so great. And then another. And we would seriously have 5 dogs if we had bigger vehicles, a bigger yard, bigger bed. We talked about like, could we build out a bed? We talked about it. So yeah, it's just the gateway puppy is what happened. So
if we see you down the road with a 15-passenger van full of dogs, do we know, will that be a sign that there's a problem?
That's a sign that I've hit the lottery and maybe left my job.
Awesome. I want to talk about content in personal brand a little bit. You hit on it a little bit and the like. And so you and I and a lot of our clients know the benefit of, doing video and having a social media strategy.
Yeah.
What holds agents, lenders, people in sales in general back from doing video?
I think a few reasons. I think people are held back from doing video because they think everyone else has done it and they're starting from scratch. Like, how do I compete? I think that it's overwhelm. So they don't know what to do, where to start. They don't have a plan. They just worry about how they'll sound. I think that a lot of times they worry that they'll mess up. They won't sound professional. They won't be, seen as perfectly put together for a video. I think that gets in the way. And I think just in general, there's people that think it's probably going to go away. Like there's going to be something else. So I think all of those combined keep people paralyzed. And I would tell those people that you don't have to be perfect. The non-perfect post you do is better than the post you didn't do. And even I get stuck in that, like, oh, I flubbed up a word or something, or the lighting's bad. At the end of the day, it's not about having great video and great lighting. It's just about being you and real and raw and authentic, and people can read into that. So, I mean, you just have to show up. And I tell people, talk about something you experienced that day. Like talk in stories, like talk like you're talking to a friend. But people definitely get paralyzed still to this day.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Do you get paralyzed?
I don't get paralyzed. No, I just, there are only so many hours in the day, Kayla. And so I look at it's like, okay, how can I fit one more thing in? I know I could be
Yeah.
doing a lot more when it comes to video and social media content and the like, but we've got our bases covered and it's like, hey, one thing at a time.
Hmm.
Um,
It's a lot though. It's like another, it's a job and you have to be thoughtful about it and intentional.
mhm. What would you say? Let's see.
Oh
What
gosh.
what
You have a
I
list.
I was pondering, I do have a list. I was pondering a couple of questions. Here's one. What's one thing you should be doing but aren't doing consistently?
Oh my gosh, everything in my life. Like everything.
Just one thing is fine.
Uh um what's one thing in my life that I'm not
Yep.
doing? I would say pushing my limit in my workouts. I've been really like chill in my workouts. And my husband says all the time, you need to push it a little bit more because he knows my goals. But I think that I get on the Peloton or the treadmill, and what I do is I pull up like a video or something and I'm walking or not pushing it. But it's like, no, just go hard for 30 minutes and you're done. I will drag out my workouts. So, yeah, that's one thing.
If you looked at your last 30 days, Kayla, what would you say I need to fix this?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if this is appropriate. Um, I'm just looking at my calendar if you're wondering. When I look at, because your calendar basically tells, a lot about you. I think for me it would be um making more white space on my calendar. And I've known that for a while, but I think that I'm a people pleaser, and you want to get in with me, okay, I'll squeeze you in. I think that that sacrifices quality conversations. I think that if I'm back to back to back, how am I documenting? How am I following up? What if something comes in and I need to take care of it? So I actually in April started blocking for an hour, and I'm calling it block for last a minute or things that pop up. And if I have that on my calendar, I just have that, essentially built in. But I think that the back to back is okay for a while, but then you end up working at night and that bleeds into the next day. So more white space.
So, kind of along the same lines a little bit, do you want to be a top producer or do you want to build a team?
Andy, I want to do both. I would love to explore to see what does it look like with support under Kayla, more support, because then you can kind of see your limits, right? Like, do I want to be a $60 million producer, a 70 and 80? Or do I want to manage people? Or do I want to bring on a junior, right? Like, you've got agents in your office. I think that without knowing my full potential of top production, like we're ramping up, I'm seeing it. I think it's natural that it would be that I would bring on other people like a junior or something, so that I could say, hey, I'm going to have you take care of this client. It's really trusting, right? It's really building and educating and teaching someone the Kayla calendar way of how we do business, and not just willy-nilly saying, hey, call this client. It's, hey, you are part of the team. This is how we treat people. This is what we do. And that takes a lot of effort. And so both, I think. I think ideally probably leaning towards building a team.
Mhm.
Great question, Andy.
All right. What's been the hardest part so far about building your business?
The hardest part about building my business is I think that you have to let go of some things. And that's hard because of two reasons. One, it feels like I always feel like I'm dumping. Like, oh, like I don't want to put too much plate on my team, or too much plate on my team, too much on my team's plate, because that feels like I'm just passing the buck. But in reality, it's you have to empower your people. You have to trust them. Now, kind of like the thought of trust but verify. In order to trust, people have to prove themselves, things like that. But I think it's getting over the fact that it's not dumping, it's delegating. It's empowering someone to step up and own something that you once did yourself. And that feels a little hard because you really have to trust that they're doing their job, but you also have to realize that those people are going to drop the ball. I drop the ball sometimes. I forget to do things. I mess up. And I think that you have to have grace for those people, especially as they're learning it as well. So I think that's probably the hardest part about building a team.
Do you have grace for yourself?
Probably not. I think I could work on that. There's times, I mean, Andy, last night I was working in my office and I was working on a scenario and I had never, ever run into it. It has to do with a refinance. And I run my findings, which tells me, boop, 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 this is what you can or can't do. And I looked at it and I'm like, how did I not know this? Like, and I thought about it and I'd never run into it. We just didn't run into it. And so I think I get in my head, like, I should know everything, but there's just no way. There's just no way for me to understand every guideline, every investor. And so that's why you do have to give grace. So I could work on that.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to lighten things up a little bit because I feel like we've been a little heavy. But
yeah, it was heavy.
What's something people would be surprised to know about you?
Great question. I was a band majorette in high school. So I had a whistle. This is totally not where you're going with this, but I had a whistle.
Yeah, it's your episode. You can take it anywhere you want.
And I was like, down, inside, outside, out, down, and leading the marching band. So that was cool. And kind of parallel to that, adjacent, I guess, maybe, I was the high school mascot for a hot minute because I was in basketball and volleyball. I was an athlete, but we combined schools. And so you couldn't do cheerleading and basketball or whatever. And my sisters were cheerleaders. And so they taught me all the dances. And then I guess my way to help to give back was to dress as the eagle. And I can do a mad eagle. You should see me do it. I won't do it now.
Well, you said you could do a mad eagle. So,
I mean, yeah, I better not. I mean,
okay. All right.
It's pretty good though. But yeah, and I still have it ingrained in my head, the school song, the dance. So.
What is your biggest pet peeve with clients?
That people wait until the night before their homework's due to do the homework. I think that, if clients really want to have a good experience and be educated and they really want to know their options, I kind of cringe when I hear, we're looking at a house today. Can we talk on, it takes time. And I understand that speed is important because sometimes houses come up and we need to get a letter. But when I see constantly a client that says, hey, we want to get pre-qualified, I'm like, great, let's do this. The house gets sold and then they stop. And I'm like, no, let's go. And then they come back a year later and we found the one. I would say that's my biggest pet peeve is go through the process. You're not out any time or any money or commitment. You don't have to buy a house. The only thing you're out is a little bit of time. And so that would probably be my biggest pet peeve is that they're like, yeah, we were looking at a house and we knew we should have talked to you, but life. And so there is this pull, Andy, of okay, do I put this client in front of all these other people that took their time? Do I push back? It's tough to navigate, but I mean, that's probably the biggest thing that I see.
Sure. What's been your craziest transaction story?
I would say I was first in mortgage and I was at Choice Bank as a mortgage lender. And I had these clients come in, meet with me. They applied or did all their items. And then I was going to, pull credit and do everything, get them pre-approved. And that day, the guy had come to my office, the husband, and wrote a note hey, I know our situation probably is going to look bad. And he left a note on my desk. And that's weird. I mean, we're going to look at everything anyway. Why is he coming in to give me a Post-it note? And I pulled credit. And this girl was so excited to build her dream home. She was just the sweetest and she's so pumped. And I could tell he was a little on edge. Well, I pulled credit and he had a foreclosure on another home that she didn't know about with a buddy. So here they had to wait. And it was, this was a decade ago, but it was very telling to be okay, I'm the one having to tell you this news, not your husband. So that was probably, I would say, kind of like the wildest, most shocking.
Bummer.
I know. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Kayla, what kind of clients do you want to work with?
I want to work with clients that that put their trust in me, the lender. I think a lot of people are on Google and ChatGPT and YouTube, which is great. I love that. I love when people do their research, but when people try to use their research of like a day, or that they use their dad who hasn't bought in 20 years and they think that they're the expert because they bought, 10, 20, 30 years ago. I would say the people that just put their trust in me, like, hey, I've researched you. I've read about you. My realtor says you're great. I've talked to friends. Help us. Like, we trust you. And I know that's hard sometimes, but otherwise, when people try to be the expert or use someone else as it, it's this constant friction of like, they're almost getting in their way because the things are usually not true that they assume about home loans. So I would just say someone that just essentially puts their trust in me.
Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun when people
Yeah.
research you and they come in and they're like, we're all in on you? I had someone
Yeah.
come in the other day and they're like, hey, we see your videos online and we see the ones you did with your daughter singing the first day of school song.
Oh, I love that. I love that song. But you know what? That also gives you a human element. And
For
I
sure.
tell people, Google me, because I know when they Google me, they're going to see all my dog stuff and who I am. And again, we talked about this at the beginning, is I want to break down that barrier of blonde woman. Who is she? And oh, she's smart. Oh, she is a human being as well. So, I mean, just people that just want to work with you because of who you are.
Right on. Okay, a few more questions, Kayla.
Hmm.
I hope I haven't been making you sweat too
No,
bad here with these
my
questions.
gear on it. It's making me sweat. But
Okay, what are you building right now that people should pay attention to?
Um, hmm. Gosh, you're really hitting me hard with these.
Other than a big human dog bed.
Yeah, seriously, I want to build one. I would say a brand. I think that, um, okay, so I had a call last week of a company that was like, hey, we would love for you to rep us because you clearly are passionate about XYZ. And I've never spoken with them. They're very reputable. And I think that that says a lot, is that when you can build trust without even talking to somebody, I think that that's what I'm really building, that I think will propel me into opportunities and options in the future for, building my team, or I think connections are important, and it's so much easier to build connections when you're connected online on social and you get to know people. So I would say I'm building a brand and a name. I don't know what it'll lead to, except for more exposure, more business, impacting more people, and maybe opportunities that I don't even know of. Like, you just never know. Hey, maybe it's a client that wants me to come in and speak to their business, like things like that. And so, I think too about opportunities like, hey, can you come and speak to our group? And then can we come and like do a video at your house, and we'll swap, right? Like we'll do the video for you if we can have you come and do this. And so I think there's just opportunities, if that makes sense, that we don't even know about just from knowing people and building that
For
brand.
sure. I
Mhm.
like that. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, final question,
Oh,
Kayla.
final.
Fast forward 5 years.
Oh, I hate
What
this
does,
question.
what does winning actually look like for you?
Okay, that's not where I thought you were going to go with that. So, winning to me is, oh gosh, I'm going to get emotional. Winning to me is balance. Winning to me is not worrying what other people think. Um, Winning to me is being able to leave my business and it still runs if I'm gone. Trusting the people behind me. Winning is having more fun. Winning is finding the joy in the moments that are so small. Winning to me is being a little more adventurous. Right now, I'm very much in my here's what I do day in, day out. And I'll be very, very blunt, very brash, very honest, is like, a lot of what I do in my day is just work, work, work. And so I don't have a lot of space for other things. And it feels like I fail people, like my friends, my family, or like, hey, my phone's blowing up, I have to help. And so I think winning is finding a balance, but also not giving up the ability to grow and to have a business and to impact people at the same time.
I like that. Very thoughtful.
Is that what you expected, Andy?
Well, not exactly. It's not what you expected either, because you
Yeah,
said
it's true.
you were prejudging the question even before
I
I
was prejudging your questions.
I think it was good. I think this is actually fun. I think it's fun to ask the questions. It's fun to
Yeah.
get groped too, but
Yeah.
I think that's it. I mean, I could sit here, I could keep asking you questions, Kayla, but I know you've got some places to be, so we can
Hey,
do
you've
it a
got
little bit more
places to
one-on-one.
be too, mister.
I do. We both have
Um,
a lot going on.
I think that it's fun to ask the questions because you're genuinely like curious, like what are they going to say? Like, I don't know this. And how often do you take the time to do this with someone? You don't, right? I mean,
Almost
sometimes you
never.
do. But yeah, I mean, just like on Love is Blind. Sorry, it's a little plug for Love is Blind. But it's like they ask all these questions while they're in there because they're forced to. And it's like Taryn and I have bought some games where like it's like asking questions, and we haven't played them as much, but like you need to do that more. So
We've
I think
got it too, actually, at the
yeah.
dinner table where we've got a box of cards and we don't do it religiously, but the girls will come and, pick a card out and want to read it. And it's kind of fun.
I love it. It's just getting to know people in a different level that, yeah, it's important. So thank you for interviewing me today, Andy.
Well, thanks for making the time, Kayla. And I think that probably puts a wrap on episode 103. And so for everyone who is watching or listening to this, hopefully it gave you a better look into, not, just who Kayla is, but how she thinks, operates, and what she's building.
And puppies.
And puppies. So if you got value from this too, Kayla, I'd say for those listening out there, share it with someone who needs to hear it as well. And we will see you on the next episode. I hope you have a great Easter, Kayla.
I will if you will. We'll talk soon.
See ya.
Bye.